Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas Season 8, Episode 6, Web of Deceit. Y'all, let's go ahead and get into this episode. But before we do, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. The more you do like, comment, and subscribe, the more you like, especially. The video does go through the algorithm and more people will start to view my commentary. So we will go ahead and get into this video. And it does pick up where it left off when Penelope comes into Andy's home and slapped the dog out of her, the breath out of her, the face off of her. I was like, "Ooh, okay." And I mean, Andy was acting like she was trying to get to her, but it wasn't happening. It's like you let this girl come up in your home with your boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, or whatever Jordan is to you at this moment. He allowed it to happen. He allowed all of this to happen. On the way over to your house, he allowed it to happen. When they got out the elevator into your home, he allowed it to happen. And then when her hand connected to your face, he allowed it to happen. Because if you notice, in this scene, he always protected his sister. He always held on to his sister. He always took his sister's side. Y'all, I'm going to group a lot of this stuff together because it was a lot going on, and it was a lot of the same conversation, just split up into the entire split out throughout the entire episode. So I'm going to group a lot of the conversations together. But anyway, so after Annie gets slapped, of course Jordan gets to hold her sister back, and she was like, yeah, pretty much saying, you are the reason that we are in this mess. She blamed everything on Andy. She blamed everything on Andy. She was saying, how could you go back to him? You were trying to get me out of the way so you can be with Andy. I mean, so you can be with Gary. Like, she was, and at first, when she came in, I thought that she was more on her brother's side, as far as, you left my brother to go and marry Gary and all of that. But then when she started throwing herself into it, like, you wanted to get rid of me so I can't be with the father of my child, I was like, Penelope is delusional. Penelope is delusional. And that's another reason why I feel like Penelope is the one that probably stabbed Gary, because she's delusional. Like, all the things that she was saying, she was blaming Andy for Gary child jerking off in her bathroom. Andy is like, how would I have known that? Like, how would I have known he was doing that? She was blaming Andy for Gary having pictures of her in his office. How would Andy have known that? And Andy is like, so when did all of this happen? Like, where were we at? And Jordan is like, yeah, that's some sick stuff. You knew he was the part about Gary being in Andy's bathroom. That's some sick stuff you would do. And Andy looking like, Jordan, me and you were together. How do I supposed to know this man was in my home doing that? Like, that's crazy. And it's like everything that Penelope said, Jordan agreed with it. Like, he agreed with everything his sister said. And I was just so confused. Like, what is really going on here? Penelope, do you still want Gary? Is that what this is? Do you still want him? I mean, because you can go and take your tail down into that hospital and lay up beside him if you want him that bad. And Andy also brings up the fact, because Jordan brought up that, she lost her baby. And Andy was telling her, like, I didn't tell you to go down there. I was telling you to get away from him. And Penelope also brings up the fact that you're the reason why I went into protective custody. She was like, I was trying to protect you because Andy said she knew how much of a lunatic that Gary was. And Penelope's whole deal is, you were just trying to keep me away from Gary so you can have him for himself. You tried to ruin my brother's political position. Like, I was like, what is going on here? What is really going on here? I was so confused and taken aback, like over and over again, out of like all these accusations that Penelope was throwing out at Andy. And I'm like, girl, you are the reason why, you are the one that told me that about Gary on prom night. You set up all of this stuff. You maneuvered your way, and you planted all this stuff just to break up Penelope and Gary, and just to stop Jordan's political campaign. And Andy is like, how in the world am I able to do all of that? How am I that, you know what I'm saying? Like, am I that powerful with my words and with my cooch that I can do all of this stuff? I'm like looking like, what is really going on here? And Andy does, and when Andy found out that oh yeah, y'all, this review is going to be all over the place. Just letting you know, it's going to be in the order, but it's going to be out of order as well. And none of this stuff is verbatim. A lot of this is just recap of what happened. It's not like word for word, none of that stuff. So yeah. But anyway, Andy, mind you, Andy did offer, like, when she heard that Jordan got off of his campaign, when they pretty much kicked him out because of all of the media out of all the media hype about what's going on with the stabbing of Gary, like, being that he was connected to Andy, they instructed that he step down from his political race, even though he was the forerunner for it. And Andy was like, I can just go and I can make some calls. I can do this. I can do that. And they were like, and especially, but mainly it was Penelope. She was just like, so do you think that they're going to believe you? Like, after everything you've done? Like, you're no worse off than Jordan. And I don't know. I was just so confused because I was just thinking, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because even when they went down there even when Andy was about to marry Gary, and Jordan came in to intervene, Andy and Jordan, for some reason I thought that Andy told him, like, Gary was black. I thought she told him that Gary was blackmailing him. Or maybe she didn't, or maybe I'm tripping. But I thought they had like this conversation. She was like, no, I don't love him. I don't want to be with him. And all of this. I thought she told him something. Maybe she didn't, because Jordan was coming down there so confused. Like, Jordan was everything his sister said. Like, everything his sister said. He took her side. How could you do this to me, Andy? How could you do this to me? And she's like, no, Jordan, I love you. You don't love anyone but yourself. I was like, God, Andy, you done let this lady come into your house, slap the fire from your neck, and then she hurling insults at you one after another, blaming you for something, blaming you. You know what I'm saying? Talking crazy to you. And this is what we're getting. Okay. Tell me why. Tell me, why did you do this? All right. So back to the Rooster Riches, then wrecked your edges. Child, Miss Marie Willis comes in there. What in the world is going on here, right? And so the girl is sitting up here hollering about Rooster Riches wrecking her edges, and she's trying to sue, them, and she's trying to sue them and all of this other stuff. And Miss Marie Willis is looking at her like, girl, if you don't get your ratchet self up out of my face, like all the money that I invested into this, mind you, when the girl here was going off about Rooster Riches, wrecking her edges, Pam is over there in front of Trey. And Trey ends up leaving, saying he gotta go because he really don't have time for a lot of this or whatever. And I was just like, okay. And then Miss Marie Willis says, so is this the reason why you couldn't recheck your product? Is because you were hung up over this fine man? I was like, why do we have to point out that this man is fine? That has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. I mean, okay, you hung up over this fine man. That's the reason why you didn't double check your product and all this other stuff. I'm like, girl, whatever. But anyway, I was like, and then Pam says, you know how we are with the men. I was like, what does this have to do anything with your business? Just like Marie Willis said, yeah, I like the men, but I take care of my business. Like, what are you not doing? You didn't check your product enough. Miss Marie Willis is trying to go on and on about, you know, what is really going on here? Why are all these people in your building? Why haven't you got these people out of your place? And then the girl, she's just talking about, yeah, Rooster Riches, you don't know, my scalp was burning and my edges will never grow back. And Miss Marie Willis is looking at this lady, and I'm like, Miss Marie, don't you use that product too? So you didn't really think like, well, I use the product, none of this stuff happened to me. It's almost as if she was slick believing what this girl was saying, because she was like, after all the money what did I invest my money into? And child, the only thing, that's all that girl had to say here was, what did I invest my money into? And she was like, oh, so you're the one behind this, like you're the woman in charge, you're the woman that has the money, I can tell by your watch and all this other stuff. And she called it something, but Marie had to correct her. And she was talking about, yeah, I saw that on Paris Child Fashion Week, just some bull crap. And then she said, well, we can, and that's when I think her name is Vanessa. She was just like, we can settle this out of court for $350,000. Now, first you said it was $400,000. Now you want to settle for $350,000 outside in the parking lot. So I'm just like, really? Really, is this what we're doing? Okay. All right. Back over at the office with Hayden, Fatima is trying to study for her because she's in law school. Hayden comes in, takes all these old cases from the last quarter and dumps it on the desk, and tells Fatima that she shouldn't be studying there. She need to be going over these cases to find any discrepancies. And Fatima is like, why am I doing this? Because Andy and I went over all these cases with Andy. There are no discrepancies. And he brought up something about some guy's name. I guess it has one T when it should have had two T's. And then Fatima looks at it and she said it does have two T's. Like, what are you doing? And not Gary, but Hayden is just like, you want to be this lawyer. If you would ever be a lawyer, the judge is going to look at this and say, you need to look over your work, just being a pest at the end of the day, because for some reason Hayden feels like he's going to be a judge that's going to be looking over Fatima's work. And I'm just like, what is what is going on? He's really pushing Fatima buttons, as he always does. Like, he's always pushing this girl's button. He's always trying to make it seem like she's doing something wrong. So, and he always bring up the fact that Andy is no longer going to be there. And for some reason in Hayden's mind, he feels like Robin is going to give him the seat, in the actual seat, as one of the partners. And Fatima is no longer going to work there anymore unless he does what she says. And Fatima is looking like, boy, if you don't get out of my face. I'm like, girl, I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to have to roll with it, Fatima, at this point. You're just going to have to roll with it. That's what you're going to have to do. But anyway, Hayden ends up leaving and she ends up calling Zach. And just pretty much tell him like what's going on. And Zach's whole thing is, he's doing this because he still likes you. And Zach, and then when she brought up the fact about, Hayden giving all the cases and stuff to her, he was just like, well, I mean, that is a part of your job to be looking over cases, and I understand that they're Andy's old cases that you did work over them with. I mean, ain't nothing too much wrong with that. But anyway, then they start talking about he's cleaning up baby Michael's stuff, and he's about to, he has to go meet up with the teacher and all that stuff. And Fatima is just like, yeah, you need to be on time, because she don't want to get no more phone calls about them being late. All right, so down at the bar, it's just a lot of ruckus going on with Rich and Tony, Sabrina and Danny. Everybody is talking over each other. It gets really, really loud in the restaurant, to where everybody is just looking around like, what is going on over here? Nobody is listening to nobody. Everybody just wants to be heard. And it's really crazy how these conversations are going, because a lot of these are the same conversations that have been going on throughout this whole show. Everybody has a problem with everybody. Sabrina really doesn't have any issues, but apparently Rich has an issue with Sabrina because of the fact that Rich feels as if she cares more about her friends than she does him. And I was thinking, well, she has known her friends a whole lot longer than she's known you. And when she sees that her friend is in destitute, then she's going to come. And Rich feels as if, I tried to go out with you earlier to lunch, but you said you were so knee deep into your work to where you didn't want to, but now I see you here. So that he's trying to prove his point. And yeah. And so with Tony, he says that he's trying to support Danny, and Danny doesn't want his support. And Danny says that you're not supporting me. You're trying to control me. You're trying to make me out of every other woman that instead of her being her own woman. You didn't consult with her. You didn't speak with her. You didn't even ask her if she even wanted to take a leadership role job. You're just doing what you're wanting to do without, just without her consent. So there was a lot of that conversation, and they're talking about men versus women and all of this stuff, how women sit up and gossip, but men, they sit up and gossip too. It's just a lot of, I don't know, it's just, I guess. But anyway, back over at Andy's house, they were asking her why, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Right? So then Andy says, like, the reason why I did it is because Gary was blackmailing me. And he said that if I didn't marry him, then, he will unalive Jordan, and, he will ruin his life and all of that stuff. And so when Penelope hears that, she's still like, you lie. You lie. And then Andy looks at Jordan and was like, she does like this little pinky swear thing, what they do with their fingers, and they see Jordan and they do this little corny stuff. I was like, oh, so that's really going to make Jordan believe you when you kiss your finger and you throw it out like this, And Penelope is like, don't you dare touch her finger, Jordan. Child. And then Penelope then she acts like she wants to she takes off her jacket, acting like she really want to get at Andy. And Andy started to take off her earring. And I'm just looking like, what is going on here? And Andy is like, I let you slap me once. She said, but the first one was for free, but the next one is not. And I'm like, Andy, the first one shouldn't have been for free. Like, what? Really? You tell me the first slap was for free, and the second one you gonna really have to. Really? Really? Child, I was so confused and dumbfounded by this. And just for the simple fact, and now Andy is starting to see it. Andy's whole thing is, so why are you doing this? Just because but you still want Gary? Like, what are you doing? And they are trying to blame, and I'm just confused as why are they trying to blame Andy for everything? Like, for everything. Everything. Andy is just some big mastermind that can just Mm, that really and then Penelope makes the threat. She threatens her like, see, you thought that you could get away with this, but you're going to be in the same, you're going to get you're going to get it back the same way that Gary did. And Andy is like, so what did you do? Are you the reason why Gary is in the situation that he's in? You're coming into my house, you're threatening me and all of this. And this is when Andy kind of gets bold and gets in her face. Like, so you're going to do this? You're threatening me in my home? So are you the reason why Gary is in the situation he's in now? So Andy, now you're starting to get a backbone. Like now you're getting a backbone. And she wants to talk to Jordan alone. She wants to talk to Jordan alone for some reason. All right, so now Fatima goes over to Robin. And when she goes over to Robin, she's sitting there talking about, Hayden and what Hayden is doing to her, how he's like going around talking to the other partners, the fame and Andy's name and all of that stuff. And talking about how Hayden is when you were gone. He was like pretty much a menace around the office, and nobody believes that Hayden is this bad person because he has the other partners wrapped around his fingers, so to speak. And and when Fatima is talking about Hayden, Robert is just like, I know, I know that he's doing this, but at the same time, he's still your supervisor when Andy is not here. So you're still going to have to follow what he's doing because she's bringing up these caseloads but he wants me to go over Andy's caseloads. He don't want me to go over any of his, but I'm just sitting here thinking, Robin, you know exactly who Hayden is. So you're looking at Fatima as if she's saying something new to you, which is what I'm confused about. But maybe he's just trying to put this face on to make it seem like that he's trying to be fair. And he says he's trying to protect Andy, but at the same time, it's like he's trying to figure out people's motives when it comes to Andy. And we're going to get to that in a minute. So back over at Zach's house, we finally get to see baby Michael. Hey, baby Michael. Hey. Baby Michael, he seems like he is doing so much better. He's in a better place. Like he is so happy. And Zach was looking for him a snack and all that stuff. And Zach says, what do you want to eat? Do you want to eat chicken? Child, he said, do you want to eat something? But he said nuggets. No, he said nuggets, y'all. That's nuggets, 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 nuggets. Get that baby some nuggets. Child, here you go. Zach, you said nuggets? You said nuggets? Ah, you said nuggets. Child, he done picked baby Michael up, talking about that's baby Michael's first word. I said his first word is nuggets. It ain't that. Nuggets. I was happy too. I said, well, maybe we can get some more vocab out of baby Michael. Because, and he just hold his little head down in Zach's little shirt and under his arm. You don't have to hold your head down. Keep your head up. Oh, you want nuggets? Nuggets! I said, I'm just so happy. I'm happy they're having progress, baby Michael, because y'all not going to sit up and keep talking about this baby is mute. That's what y'all not going to do. Keep it cute or keep it on mute. So baby Michael is cute and he is off mute. All right. So when Andy finally gets Jordan, Penelope to leave after all these hurling accusations, she tries to talk to Jordan. Like, Jordan, listen to me. Like, I wanted you to be here because I wanted you to see my heart. I wanted you to see that and feel me, that I'm not lying to you. Like, I'm really being honest here. Everything I did, I'm doing it for you. Like, I'm really trying to be here for you. But he still doesn't see it. Like, he doesn't. I don't believe you, Andy. I don't believe you. And he leaves. And I'm like, you know what, Andy? That's the best thing. He needs to leave. Like, you need to get away from Penelope, and you need to get away from Jordan, because if the way that they're set up, they are a pair. And when one does something, the other one follows, because Penelope feels like she's protecting her brother from Gary, and she was protecting her brother from Andy. And it looks like they may have gotten together and did something, because even when Andy had confronted Penelope, like, you're the reason why you're sitting over here throwing accusations at me, maybe you're the reason, why Gary's in the situation he's in. And she's like, no, I'm not, like, I wouldn't do that. And another thing too, I think I brought this up already, I don't remember. I don't even remember what I just said 5 minutes ago, but she did say about Andy going over, because she said about Penelope being pregnant and all that stuff. And Andy was telling Penelope, like, I told you not to go down there by yourself. Like, you went over there by yourself into Gary's place of business to confront him. And that's how you end up losing your baby. And Penelope gets upset and just like, so you're saying it's my fault? I mean, I'm not saying it's your fault, but at the same time, yeah, I'm saying it's your fault, because you should have just stayed away from him. And you know this man is crazy. Like, you did not know that Gary, you thought, for me, when she brought up that statement, I know I'm going back, y'all, but I wanted to kind of touch on this too when I was watching the actual show. I guess Penelope thought that because she was pregnant, that she could go down there to Gary's office and she can hurl all this stuff at him, and he wasn't going to do anything about it because she was pregnant with his child. But Gary don't even care about his own child that's disabled. So when he pushed her to that floor, I'm like, Penelope, it is slick your fault, because Andy did try to warn you and tell you, don't go down there. Like, don't do this by yourself, but you did it yourself. So it is your fault. Did you think is Gary wrong for pushing you? Yes. Is Gary the reason why you lost your baby? Yes. But did you have to take yourself down there, and then you throwing all this stuff in this man's face and knowing that he's crazy? You didn't think that he was going to push you down? No, so it's technically on you too. And she gonna get mad. That's why she gonna try to fight Annie the second time. But I'm just like, yeah, that's crazy. I think Penelope did it because she has the reason. Like, she has the reason. I feel like she did it. And I feel like Jordan is an accomplice. Accomplice. Is that what accomplice? Yeah. I feel like he is. So they're in this together, and they're trying to pin it all on Andy so Andy can take the fall for it. That's what they're trying to do. Because I guess they feel like, because she was like, why us? Why did y'all target us? And Andy is like, what do you mean? Why did we target y'all? Ain't nobody, I didn't even know y'all. What you mean? And anyway, Jordan came to Andy. Jordan wanted to hook up with Andy. Andy didn't come. No, it wasn't. They had met on that website. Child, look at me. They met on a website. That's how they met, child. But anyway, he was really pursuing her. He was pursuing her hard. So anyway, yeah. But Andy says, she stopped dealing with Gary the moment that they, started talking and all that other stuff. But Jordan ain't trying to hear Andy. He's whatever his sister say, he does. And that's it. So now, Andy, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? I don't know. You better figure it out, because they going to pin all this stuff on you. All right. So back over to the Rooster Riches Wrecking Your Edges. While Vanessa, the girl with the no edges, when she was talking, Karen was looking at her and she said, what? And she looked at her edges and she seen that though her edges were shaved off, because she saw stubble. And that's when Vanessa was like, what? Okay, what? And then Miss Marie Willis kind of stepped in and was like, if you don't leave here, I'm going to sue you with defamation of character and all this other stuff. And the girl was saying she was just trying to get a quick coin. Can you blame a sister for trying to get a quick coin? I'm just like, yeah, we can tell that this was a scam. And it was probably a scam that Trey set up to come to us with this mess, because he quickly got out of there. He quickly got out of there when Miss Marie Willis had came in. So yeah. Anyway, once everybody leave, they left on cue. As when they cheered on cue, and when they left on cue. So once they left out, Miss Marie Willis was like, yeah, she kind of slick glad that this happened, because she was like, you have to be prepared for stuff like this. And Miss Marie Willis said that she was so wrapped up into her divorce to where she didn't do her own due diligence as to making sure that she got everything that she needed from Pam and Karen. And Karen over there talking about she's sorry. And Miss Marie was just like, don't be quick to quit saying you sorry. And Karen also was like, if you wanted your money back. And Miss Marie was like, quit being so easily, stop accepting defeat easy. Like you so quick to give up. Stop doing that stuff, And she was like, you gonna have to give her a full detail statement on their business plan, like whatever they have going on with their business, like full details of it. Like they gonna have to really comb through everything. They're gonna have to get, and she said she's gonna have to get her lab involved in all of this. Her people involved, just to check the product, recheck the product, just to make sure this doesn't happen again. And if it does happen again, they crossed every T and dotted every I to make sure that their product is in perfect standing, because Miss Marie Willis knows this is a $1 million, multi-billion dollar industry hair business is. And if you have a good product, you lean into it. And Miss Marie Willis knows it is good, and she can make these ladies super rich, but you got to do your work too. So that's pretty much what that is. And I'm glad that Miss Marie stepped in, because if she wouldn't have came, child, them girls would have been there all day and all night. Talking about some edges and got wrecked. And when Miss Marie Willis leave, Pam mom comes in. So yeah. All right. So this back over here. They still arguing. And then Rich brings up Andy. And, they just like, why are you bringing up Andy? Ever since this case didn't happen, ever since the stabbing of Gary happened, Rich, you keep bringing up Andy. So what you're doing, you're trying to protect your friend Jordan. Okay, we're understanding. Now you have misplaced anger. So you're taking your feelings out with Andy and Jordan, and you're trying to place that on me, and stop doing that. Like, I'm just here for my friends, as you should be there for your friends, but you shouldn't point the finger. So somehow, some way, Sabrina and Rich, they became back friends, because they started kissing. Because after she said, I'm here for you, you're my priority and all that stuff, and you're taking it too far, they end up making up. But Tony and Danny, on the other hand, they ain't made up. She's still mad. She's like, I'm cool for y'all, you and Rich, but for me, I don't want to fool with him right now, because I don't like how he's doing me. She says that Tony is trying to make her a puppet, and she don't like it. And so she gets up, she calls a ride share, and she leaves out to go for her ride share. And at first Tony doesn't follow, but they convinces him to follow her out. So he ends up following her out. And they either gonna have to make some shake. Either you're gonna be with the boy, you're not gonna be with the boy, you're gonna accept the boy, you're not gonna accept the boy. Danny, you gonna be you. Tony, let the girl be her. Stop interfering in this girl's life. Like, just let it be. Just let it be. Whatever y'all got going on, just let each other be each other's individual, and stop trying to change the person to be what you want them to be, and let them evolve themselves into what they need to be for themselves, and not what they need to be for another person. Oh, one more thing too. This is what I didn't like. Rich said that you seem to have given me all your attention. You seem to Sabrina. So you seem to have needed me when you wanted my sperm. Now that now that you can have it, now you're putting me to the, you're putting me to the back burner. Like, you don't need me as much anymore. And I'm like, Rich, she had a sperm donor. She had one. You the one volunteered your sperm. You the one that walked into that hospital room and said that you would do it. So don't bring that up. Don't do that. Because she had somebody. She didn't need you. Matter of fact, she didn't even want you to do it because you didn't want to do it. So don't do that stupid stuff. See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all, you did that. You offered up your own. You said you didn't want kids. She said, okay, I'll go find somebody that want one with me. And I'm like, Sabrina, you okay with that? It looks like he's going to be throwing that up in your face in the future. So you wanted my sperm. You wanted my sperm. Child, anyway. So back over down there, Robin and Fatima. Robin gives Fatima a rude awakening. Because Fatima was down, complaining about Hayden and how Hayden is trying to ruin Andy's life. But then again, Fatima, Robin had some questions for you, because they bringing up this whole stabbing incident and all of that. And so Robin is just like, so I'm glad you brought up all this stuff about Andy and the well-being of Andy. We have some new information in regards to this case. And so he opens up that folder and she looks and her face is turned because she like, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Yeah, it's you down there at Gary's office and you getting roughed up and getting pushed on the ground. Why are you there? What is your motive? What do you have to do with this? Fatima, sometimes it's best you just sit out, because now you're finding yourself in a situation to where they actually have footage of you coming to Andy's rescue. And you could be implicated. So now you have to go and explain yourself. So hey, we're going to see how this unfolds. I don't know if maybe Robin is trying to cross-examine Fatima right now just to see where her head is at, just in case she gets called, to testify, or if she gets, they try to pin it on her. Maybe Robin is going to come to her rescue too, just to say, well, this is my client. And yeah, she was only down there for X, Y, and Z. So maybe I'm thinking maybe he's doing this so he can help her and not hurt her, just to give her the heads up, like they coming for you next. But anyway, y'all, this is Sheila Bila. My review my recap was longer than what I thought it would be. I didn't think I was going to be talking to y'all this long. But it was just a lot of little things that was just kind of irritating me, with Penelope blaming Andy for everything. Like, she just so good. And then Miss Marie Willis coming in and step in to put the fire out when it comes to Rooster Riches. And then Fatima now is under investigation. Well, anyway, y'all, this is Sheila Bila. Like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all think. Bye.